All right, we're back. We got our little riser or perch mock-up. Like I said, I actually made it a little shorter, obviously, than what was on there. Here's the wooden piece that was on here. Right, if you can see where the thing was lined up there, it was sitting quite a bit further back, right? So we shortened up the rear end of it and angled down the front end. We don't know until Rich is going to bring his helmet, come over. Then, of course, he's going to help me get in my car up on the stand here and shim things up underneath my helmet here to make sure we get that right too. So we're at the total height of the padding and everything. It's 2 3/4. So we're going to leave it loose so we can move it. I mean, if his neck is hitting it, we can move it back, whatever, get an idea of what's going on. So I just kind of filled this whole area in from the back there. So that's our riser, right? We can always dish this out, put some padding on it as well, whatever we need to do. But let me show you how this all transpired, how that 3D picture I showed you on here turned into a 3D item. Okay, so because we're going to be mounting to the back of this thing, I got to set this up this way. So got the helmet sitting here mocked up. Just hang on just a sec. I got to get it right to the edge of this table because the headrest part, the length of it is a little long yet. Okay, we were into a little harder piece of cardboard. So hang out and let me sit you right here on the old mother's wax, then you can check it out. Now, depending on how thick the padding's going to be, kind of depends on how. Actually, I think we're going to go up a little more. For this particular example. So there you go. You take a look at the, once we get the aluminum bent, we'll be able to bend from here up to the center. We won't be able to, do much about the flat part, but so it'll help us get this thing rotating and rolling. Obviously, it's going to be more uniform once we get it, in a material that we can manipulate a little better than a piece of cardboard. But you get the general idea, right? The perch is going to keep the front of the helmet down, right? With a nice solid perch to sit it on, at the right height for the depth of the seat and the driver himself. I mean, yes, is a bit. I mean, you're not going to be able to market this thing and make it universal to fit everybody. But I'm not in the business of making stuff for other people. I make it for me. So and Rich and anybody else who can get over here, But there you go. So we'd be able to tweak the aluminum to fit the contour of the helmet, right? Bend it a little bit more, whatever we want to do. Now, say, for instance, let me sit you on the. Well, I'll put you back on the old safety wire here. Say, for instance, this is good for Richie's helmet here, but my helmet's going to be sitting way up here. Let me stabilize the front end a little bit. Obviously, we could put more padding. I could make a second piece of, just this back bit because it's going to have bolts holding it on. This will be either bolted or we can even make that a composite. Either way, it doesn't really much matter, and bond it right to the seat. I could just make 2 or 3 different pieces of this and just put different thickness of foam on it, and that way you know what I mean? We wouldn't even really have to worry about making it adjustable front to rear. Also, if my helmet sits here and Richard sits further back where it was, we could certainly have this section here, say about here, and then just make a spacer to go in to space it back for Rich. It's going to have padding on it anyway. Nobody will know the difference. So a couple different ways we can look at it right now. I just wanted to give you a 3D kind of look at where I was going with this whole thing. that is literally exactly how I imagined it turning out. So looks pretty good. Looks pretty good, folks. You know, once it's all mounted up and you got your padding on it and everything, it'll look like it belongs there. I don't think we need to go any further around. I mean, we don't need a NASCAR headrest, man. To be completely honest, we probably don't need the side bits at all. Probably just need a little something, you know, a little something up the rear would probably do it. And that's not completely out of the question. If we're going to make these pieces interchangeable, where they bolt on, we could make a bunch of different types, different shapes, sizes, and try all of them. You know, if we find that this is just, you know, too much for us or whatever, where we can't move our head, we can't look and turn, we can't lean our head. You know, sometimes when you're on it, you're leaning your head into the corner. If it restricts us at all, we can change it. So that's it. Playing in the garage today at RPM, trying to get a headrest mock-up going. Maybe we'll bring you some more when Rich gets here, how this stuff all fits together in the cart, how it's all going to work out. One thing we do need to pay attention to, let me sit you back down real quick before I let you go, is the each helmet, at least the two different models of my helmet, that I think I've mentioned this already, is this distance here from the back of the foam to the shell of the helmet is a different dimension. On the Bell Sport I have, that foam is way back in here. Now if that's the case, then my neck is there. It's going to change where this helmet sits on that block compared to the one that we first checked out. So we'll have to check Richard's too and see what his is, what dimension he's at, and see what that's all about as well. So that's what we got for you today. We'll bring you some more later. Richie got me climbing up into the go-kart up here later on. So take care, y'all. God bless. Hang in there. It'll get better.